are sitting at your kitchen table looking at your bank account. You promised yourself this month would be different. You downloaded the budgeting app, you swore off the expensive coffees, and yet here you are again, wondering where all your money disappeared to. Before you blame yourself, I need you to understand exactly why willpower keeps you broke. You see, society has sold you a devastating lie about financial discipline. We are told that wealthy people simply have more self-control, that they are uniquely capable of resisting temptation. But this is entirely backward. Relying on discipline to save money is a mathematically guaranteed way to lose the game of capitalism. Because in the modern economy, your willpower is not a shield. It is a depleting resource that corporations are spending billions of dollars to drain. My name is the Debt Algorithm, and today we are going to dissect the cognitive flaw that makes budgeting impossible, and we will replace it with the automated wealth system, a strategy that completely removes your human brain from the wealth-building equation. To understand why you cannot save money, we have to look at the neuroscience of decision fatigue. Every single day, you make roughly 35,000 decisions. What to wear, what to eat, how to respond to an email. Every one of these choices consumes a microscopic amount of your cognitive bandwidth. By the time you log off from work at 5 p.m., your prefrontal cortex is exhausted. This is the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning and impulse control. When it gets tired, your brain naturally defaults to the path of least resistance, which is immediate gratification. So, when you order expensive takeout at 8 p.m. or buy something you do not need from an online ad, you are not experiencing a moral failure. You are experiencing a biological systemic crash. The marketing algorithms know exactly when your prefrontal cortex goes offline. They target you when your defenses are down. This condition is severely amplified by something behavioral economists call poverty brain. When you are operating from a place of scarcity, your mind is constantly running background calculations on survival. Can I afford this gas? What if the rent goes up? This background anxiety acts like a computer running a massive rendering program. It slows down all other functions. It forces you into a state of hypervigilance, where the future ceases to exist and only the immediate present matters. You cannot outsmart this biology. You cannot outwork cognitive depletion. The only way to win is to stop playing the willpower game entirely. The truly wealthy do not wake up every morning and decide to be financially responsible. They decided once, 5 years ago, and built a system that executes that decision automatically every single month. We call this the Autopilot funnel. This is the principle of friction economics applied to your personal life. The goal of friction economics is to add massive psychological friction to bad habits and completely remove friction from wealth-building habits. Think about how major tech companies operate. They spend billions of dollars developing one-click checkout systems. Why? Because they know that if you have to stand up, find your wallet, type in your credit card number, and confirm the shipping address, your prefrontal cortex has time to wake up and say no. They removed the friction to take your wealth. You must use the exact same psychological warfare to keep your wealth. Here is the exact architecture of the financial autopilot system you need to build this weekend. Step 1 is establishing the distribution hub. This is your primary checking account where your paycheck initially lands. But here is the critical, unbreakable rule. Money is not allowed to sleep in this account. It is a transit station, not a hotel. The moment your paycheck hits, a series of automated digital rules must trigger within 24 hours. The very first rule is the wealth extraction protocol. Before you pay rent, before you buy groceries, before you even look at the balance, 10 to 20% of that income must automatically transfer to your investment accounts. Out of sight, out of mind. If you do not see the money, you cannot spend the money. This is the only biological way to defeat Parkinson's law, which dictates that your expenses will always rise to meet your available income. If you artificially restrict your available income by paying your future self first, your brain will naturally recalibrate its survival math based on the lower number. You are tricking your poverty brain into working for you instead of against you. The second automated rule is the fixed cost firewall. You must calculate your exact baseline survival costs, housing, insurance, utilities, debt minimums, and you will set up a second checking account exclusively for these bills. Every payday, the exact amount required for these expenses automatically transfers to the firewall account. All of your bills are set to auto-pay from this secondary account. You never look at it. You never touch it. The bills pay themselves. The stress of remembering due dates evaporates. The late fees disappear completely. The crippling anxiety of whether a check will bounce is permanently eliminated. What you are left with in your primary checking account is your guilt-free allowance. This is the money you can blow on whatever you want without a single ounce of regret. If you want the expensive dinner, buy it. If you want the designer shoes, buy them, because you already secured your future and you already handled your obligations. The guilt-free allowance solves the psychological terror of budgeting. Traditional budgets fail because they require you to constantly act as a prison guard to your own desires. They require infinite willpower. The autopilot system requires exactly zero willpower once it is activated. When your investments are funded and your fixed bills are automatically handled, the money left over is completely yours. You stop looking at your bank account with anxiety and start looking at it with clarity. Traditional budgeting tells you to write down every time you buy a coffee. It forces you to look backward at what you did wrong. The autopilot system is entirely forward-looking. It prevents the mistake before you even have the opportunity to make it. But setting up this initial flow is only phase 1. Phase 2 is what behavioral economists call the automatic escalator. Right now, you are probably used to spending your raises. When you get a bump in pay, your lifestyle magically expands to absorb it. You rent a slightly nicer apartment, or you buy slightly better groceries. To defeat this, you must program your system to intercept new money. Log into your HR portal or your investment accounts and set your contribution rate as a percentage rather than a fixed dollar amount. If you set it to automatically pull 15%, then every time you get a raise, your wealth-building machine gets a raise too. You never even see the extra money hit your checking account. You never feel the temptation to spend it. You are artificially freezing your lifestyle while your net worth compounds in the background. This is how normal people become millionaires. They don't possess superhuman discipline, they just have better architecture. They treat their finances like a machine that requires zero daily maintenance. Now let us address the final piece of the autopilot funnel, the buffer account. Life is unpredictable, and the modern economy is volatile. A flat tire or a medical bill should not derail your entire system. Your distribution hub must automatically funnel a small percentage to a high-yield savings account. This is not an investment, it is a shock absorber. When the unexpected happens, the shock absorber takes the hit so your investments do not have to. I want you to look at your calendar right now. Pick 1 hour this weekend to sit down with your laptop and build the machine. Link the accounts, set up the auto drafts, establish the firewall. It will take you 60 minutes of administrative work to completely alter the trajectory of your financial life. Stop relying on the flawed human operating system of willpower. Your prefrontal cortex is too tired to fight off a trillion-dollar marketing industry. Automate the defense, automate the offense, and then step back and let the machine do what it was designed to do. You are no longer a participant in the scarcity game. You are the architect of your own freedom.